The early 2000s were full of emo bands and a lot of the pop punk bands that you know and love today. We're talking Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, and especially My Chemical Romance, along with other bands like Paramore. One band that I love deep in my heart, that's not where my heart is, my heart's up here, but I have a mic, so I don't want to bump into that, is the All American Rejects. They are my favorite band. I mean, they had a song for Bionicle, for God's sakes. So, of course, when I found out that their debut album, the All American Rejects, which I'm just going to call self-titled, was going to be on vinyl, I had to get it. I just had to. Hello, my name is Brandon Vinall. I am a gamer, music lover, and an aspiring voice actor. When we talk about the album itself, I gotta say it's lower on my tier list. Something about me that you're gonna see a pattern of if you watch my videos is I have a lot of hot takes, and I hate that phrase, but it's just the truth. I have a lot of hot takes, and a lot of people say this is the All American Rejects' best project. This is their best album. When really, for me, I think it's like their third or fourth, honestly, because of the fact that it's almost all breakup songs, if anything. And yes, I get a lot of punk bands really lean into the breakup things, but I mean, come on, it gets to a point where it's like fatiguing in a way and makes some of the songs just not super memorable. But we'll get more into the tracks and stuff in a moment, but let's talk about some of the things that are included with this particular vinyl that I got. First things first, the album artwork looks beautiful. I love the whole rusty trailer park kind of aesthetic that the artwork for around this album comes with. It really does hit a nostalgia bone for me as someone who is an early 2000s kid, 90s baby. So I really love that aesthetic. Another thing I love is the disc that this comes with is red, white, and blue. Yes, they are the All American Rejects, so America. I love discs that have like multiple colors or just have a color. I'll be showing off a lot of these in these kind of videos if they have a specific color. I think, if I'm being honest, even though I just said that this album is my third or fourth, like, on my All American Rejects album list, when it comes to the contents and like the vinyl record itself, this is my favorite. This is definitely my favorite. This thing has great cover art. I love the 90s, 2000s aesthetics with the rusty trailer park. And yeah, this is some sort of vehicle. I never really knew what kind of vehicle this was, but I really do. I like it. It's definitely something that I reminisce with. The back is just shows like this is obviously a trailer, all rusted up. Something you'd see in like a junkyard. It's kind of like we're in a junkyard. It's actually very reminiscent of the music video for one of the songs, which is my favorite song of this album called Swing Swing. So if we open it up, we get even more rusty items. We got a bike right here, and I believe this is like some sort of radio station set thing. But get this. So I didn't know this until I actually started filming this video. But you might notice there's a little crease right here, a little tab. You lift this up, it comes with an additional little donut. It comes with a 7-inch album. I call them donuts. I think a lot of people call them donuts. Now, while it's just a black disc, it does come with 2 bonus tracks, which is called Don't Leave Me and Why Worry. And these are 2001 demos of those songs. So I think that's really cool that they included that, and even has a little sleeve for them for it. So I think that's really cool and definitely makes this even more worth it than it already is. The last thing included that we should talk about is this, the All American Rejects. It tells us just stuff about the album, and then pretty much a lot of different versions. Wow, there are a lot of different versions, aren't there? Well, dang. Okay. A lot of different versions, including different versions of the little tiny donut that we got. Yeah. I want to kind of get into the track list. So starting with side A, we got My Paper Heart. Now one thing I will say, this is a great introduction to what you're going to be expecting to hear in the album, which is a lot of breakup songs, but also a lot of weird instrumentals that do go into a lot of the various tracks. The song includes sort of a I think it's a xylophone, but it's like twinkly little notes throughout the song, and it's a cute little touch for the song. And it's a decent song. I really liked it, and it ends with sort of a play on names of seasons, like the leaves fall down and spring blossoms you to me, which I think is clever, but it is definitely cheesy. But we love us some early 2000s punk rock cheese. If you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you. Then we got Your Star. Like I mentioned, we're gonna get a lot of love songs. Almost all of them. I think all of them are love songs. This one has a weird added electronic kind of vibe to it, especially during the chorus. But to be fair, whenever I think of space and stars and stuff like that, it does fit. And with how they implement it into the song, it makes it sound very good. And it's a nice break from all the guitars and the heavy drums and stuff. So that's a really nice touch that they added onto that song. Next, oh my god, we got Swing Swing. This, if I were to give this album like a name that's like based on a song from out of the album, I would have called this Swing Swing, because this is definitely the track that you've probably heard at some point. It starts with a slow build up into this into like synthesizers, and then the guitar comes in, and then the basses and the drums kick in, and then we get the vocals and things are toned down a little bit. It's just such a great opening to the song. Now this song has kind of a narrative to it, like a little bit. It's not like a massive narrative that I've noticed, but it is about, a guy, we'll just say Tyson. It's about Tyson, who's the lead singer of the band, I should mention. It's about Tyson moving on from this relationship into a new one, and the previous relationship kind of seemed to have been toxic. And God, I love this song. This is like top 5 All American Reject songs, believe it or not. It's definitely the highlight of this album for me. And a little fun fact, nowadays when they perform, because even though they haven't released a song in, this hurts to say, they haven't released like a full-length album in over 10 years. I think it's 11 at this point. They are still together, and whenever they perform that song live, there is a line in it that goes, "The notes are old, they bend, they fold." But nowadays, Tyson sings, "The notes are old, this song's old too." He like sneaks that in. It's really kind of funny and clever. And when asked about it in an interview, he just like, "It's just a fact, the song's old." I mean, 2002, oh my god, this hurts too. 2002 was 22 years ago. Oh, God, that makes me feel old. But yeah, I love Swing Swing, definitely the highlight of this album for me. Now, Time Stands Still is the next song on it. I might get some shit for this, but I think this song is kind of a snoozer. It's kind of probably the snoozer of the album. I think every album might have like a snoozer. Besides like the chorus, the instrumental is very boring. It's like boom boom choo, boom 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 choo, boom boom choo, boom boom doo doo, with like an acoustic guitar during like the verses in between the chorus. It's when the chorus comes in that they all kick in, and it's like the rock and stuff that you've been hearing. But it's just like, it's really boring to me. Even the ending is kind of lackluster. We're led into one more sad song, and that is kind of the gist of, that's the topic around the song. It's a sad song, yeah. So this one is more energetic and brings more to the table and kind of makes up for the previous track. Luckily, this song makes up for the last one, for it not being a snoozer. It actually kind of does the opposite that the previous song did, and where when the verses are going on, there's a lot more instrumentation, and then when the chorus comes, the instrumentals go down until the last time they sing like the chorus. And I think it works better that way, for the fact that the verses are more prominent than the chorus is. Why Worry? There's really not much to talk about with this song. It's another one that I'm just not a big fan of. It's okay. Then we get to Don't Leave Me, which on first re-listen of this song, I was actually like, is this a stinker too? Because I actually don't think I liked the song originally. And I think one reason is because it starts out with a weird electronic, almost club beat to it. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know I was listening to Travis Scott right now. But it only lasts a little while, and honestly, the chorus is very catchy. Like, like, for example, part of it is, leave me once, leave me twice, kiss goodbye, I will suffice. I do actually like the way that they perform that line, and it is very catchy. I do like that. There is one part I'm not a big fan of near the end. It's where they make a creative decision to make Tyson's vocals sound kind of distorted. Luckily, this only lasts like a couple seconds until it goes back to normal. Overall, it's a pretty good song. Now, Too Far Gone definitely is for sure another meh song to me. And this is also really when the love song fatigue comes in. When it's just love song after love song after breakup song after breakup song. It just gets kind of repetitive, and really, I don't feel like for this one, there's really anything special to say about it. Next, we got Drive Away. Despite this one being another love song, it's at least different. Now, I mentioned that there's a lot of love songs, but they've been mainly breakup songs so far, so that's why Drive Away is actually kind of a nice change of pace, because it's a love song, and it's not a breakup song. It's just a love song. And this one is very upbeat, very full of energy. And the guitars go crazy in the chorus. I love when the guitars go crazy in really anything, even like if it's not even rock, if it's just like maybe they implement electric guitars in like a pop song or a rap song. I love electric guitars, the sounds of them. I love it when they just get so energetic, so up in there. And it definitely grabs me back from the last couple of tracks that were on this album. Though I will say side B definitely is the weaker part of this album. So the last two tracks really indicate that we are near the end of this album, because this one's called Happy Endings. The song is actually also very interesting. I feel like that's like another thing I should say about the songs in this, is that they're very interesting in general. And they decide to include bells a lot in this one to really emphasize like the happy feeling. However, it's I think this is also yet another breakup song. I guess it's a happy ending in this form of we're broken up, so honestly, this is for the better. So it's a happy ending for both of us because we get to move on, from this relationship. Which I can see that being the main focus of it, being like a happy ending in this case. They do play on the counting thing again, and this time it's a little bit weird, but I still kind of like it. One more thing before I go, to the one who loves me so. 3, don't let me count to 3 again. While it sounded somewhat clever, I never understood the don't make me count to 3 again. Like, is that supposed to be some sort of inside thing between Tyson and this girl? Because we don't know the inside scoop on that. If someone could explain that down in the comments, I would appreciate that, because I just don't know what that part is supposed to mean. I honestly think that they wanted to play with it, and then they were just like, wait. So one more thing before I go, 2 more things. What would we have for 3? Let's just say don't make me do it again. Don't make me count to 3 again. And lastly, my second favorite song of the album is the last song, which is The Last Song. It's a very bittersweet closer because it's very energetic and very experimental, and I love it. But also, it's another breakup song. But for some reason, the fact that the instrumentation in this makes it an even sadder song, the way that they worked with everything, like what they had at their disposal, it just made the tone feel sadder. I think this is probably the saddest one on this list, on this album. I think part of it is because it's not just the last song of the album, but it's the last song for this girl that he has loved so much, but they're moving on, they're breaking up, And I guess that just kind of makes it even sadder just thinking about it in that context, instead of it just being the last song of the album. It's the last song for you, my love, which is kind of sad, I guess. And honestly, I think it's a perfect song to wrap up the album. So overall, like I've mentioned, I do see why this is some people's favorite album from the All American Rejects, but definitely, in my opinion, it's one of their weaker projects in my honest opinion, because, you know, I think when the world falls down, I believe that's what that one's called. Oh my gosh, it's blanking on me. That one, and even Kids in the Street, I feel like have more to them. And even looking at singles like Close Your Eyes, I believe that's the one. Like, I don't even think that one's a love song last time I heard it, and it's a great song. I definitely appreciate the album for what it is. With most bands and most artists in general, I feel like their first project is usually not great, but I do think the All American Rejects did do a good job with this debut album. I highly recommend checking it out, and if you can get your hands on this vinyl, I definitely recommend it. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do, and yeah, so long and good night.